shaking her ears. She likes doing this thing where she shakes her ears. So I'm gonna do that again. Welcome to the Yarnchix Podcast. I hope you have a drink, I hope you have your knitting, and you're ready for my podcast. I have an exciting podcast and I have a proper running order right here in front of me. So I am pleased. I'm gonna do this in one shot. It's gonna be chopped up to have some close-ups added into, but I'm gonna be a good one-shot recording person today. My name is Mimi and I podcast from Berlin, and I am a mum to 3 kids, and we recently adopted a little mini pincher, a tiny little dog with big ears. I sometimes call her my bat. She's my little Fledermaus, and it's been amazing. She's been with us for a month, and maybe she will come back in so I can introduce her to you. I have a Patreon page, and my patrons will know this corner because this is like a new corner. It's got the Yarnchix calendar that I made. For the year 2018, I created a photographic calendar this year. It's in my kitchen. Basically, we're sitting in my kitchen because it's the holidays and the kids have hogged the living room. And we have a new sofa there, so they're really happy. So welcome to my more Patreon-ish corner. This is where I often record clips for Patreon. And talking of which, I'm hosting a Patreon giveaway, and it couldn't come at a better time. I now have 22 followers, and 22 is my favorite number. Yeah! 22 entries. They're all in here, and they're all competing. Hang on. Oh. They're all hoping to win this bag in the July giveaway, which is the Jyväskylä Knit Festival project bag, a tiny small project bag with this drawstring, and it's got some treats in it. So I thought before I draw, I might as well show what's in it. Quite fittingly, I filmed the knit reportage in Jyväskylä, so at the very end of this show, you will have 2 things. At first you will have a little tarot reading, the tarot knit oracle that I have at the end of every episode. And then after that there will be the knit reportage, which I filmed in Jyväskylä, Finland, and it was amazing. It was an amazing festival, and you will recognize some people and some wool. And I hope you stay around for it, because I love making the knit reportages, so, and I love a little giveaway. I love myself a giveaway. I love giving you a present. So this is what's in the bag. This Kainu grey, a very specific Finnish breed yarn, sock yarn. So non-nylon, non-superwash, non-museline. It's amazing. And the farm is called Isukumun Lammastila. The small farm, or the small hill lambs farm. And then there's these mini skeins by Anna Maltz. I hope I pronounced your name right. Her yarn brand is called Aurinkokiere. I hope I've said that right. I've said it 3 times, maybe once it was right. And they're plant-dyed minis, and Anna and I did a little swap, so she has now got one of the Yarnchix scenes, and I got these mini skins. Look at them. They're so cute. And so this is the yarn in the bag, and I put a festival program in the bag too. Oh, and you will see a shot of Anna's stool as well in the knit reportage. But there's one more thing in here, and it's small, so it's diving. It's this little pin. It's a pin of a skein with flowers around it by Pompom, the shop from the north of Finland. So I'm very happy to give this away. I'm going to draw from this basket whoever won it. Oh, one of my lovely supporters, and the winner is Ollie. Hey Hansa. That's amazing. We can knit along because we could knit along some socks if you want to, because I bought myself the same skein of yarn and I'm not really into sock knitting yet, so maybe we'll both crack the sock knitting. Oh, I'm so happy. Uli's got a blog, Hey Hansa, she's based in Hamburg and she is lovely. She's already given me a shout out for one of the zine recipes, the knitter snack in my zine. She has published on her, like a version on her blog, and yeah. And sorry to anyone who was hoping to win this and didn't win it. There will be more. There will definitely be more giveaways from Mimi for Oli. Congratulations! Okay, so let's get going. I am wearing a finished object. I'm wearing the saddle top. I'm sure you've spotted it. I'm sure you've spotted it. It's knitted from Alpacca yarn Lyonesse, and the pattern is by Anna Maltz, who is Oysters and Pearls. She has a natural dyed yarn brand based out of New York. She is so lovely, and we met in Berlin, so I was super excited to co-host the Sahel Cal with her. And we didn't have so many participants, in all honesty. I think about 4 of us knitted it, and that was a bit hard to deal with, or to sort of feel like, oh no, I want to knit along. But I noticed it is this sort of hot, sexy, tight top with the textured pattern, and you know you have quite a lot of knitting up and then down, and so maybe it wasn't everyone's cup of tea. Never mind. In our group we had such lovely tops, but also we had to realize that there was an errata in the Breeze book, which I guess has been amended and it should be uploaded online. But now this means I have a very special top because I've knitted with the mistake. You might notice if you've got eagle eyes, but basically if you have these lines going downwards with a twisted stitch, I have this one that's negative, and in that space it should also be a twisted knit, not a twisted purl. Side effect being I have a side top no one else has, because I knitted it with the mistake without noticing. I should have just looked at the photographs. I think I would have worked it out, but I was like, no, I know what I'm doing, and I was like, I think I was already turning and going back down before I noticed. I, don't really care. I quite like this being a one of a kind. I knitted in the colourway black pearl, dark pearl. Oh god, I'm gonna write it all down here. It is a Alpacca yarn, Lyonesse, linen wool blend, and I loved working with it. I'm getting quite hot, so I noticed it has got wool in it. Mimi. So 50% wool, 50% linen. Quite warm, and we've got 32 degrees, 33 degrees, so hot, summertime. I also added, I knitted it in the first size because I realized that it had quite a lot of positive ease, and in some photos I saw it gaping here, so I thought the tighter I make it the better, because I'd rather it stretches a bit than it like does this, and I reckon it'll be fine now. I added a little repeat under the arm, and I will definitely have to block it because I haven't blocked it because I wanted to podcast quickly. all in all, I'm so happy because I think it's such a sexy little summer thing, and I'm excited to wear it out with jeans when it gets cooler and with skirts and dresses now. So my summer top, Sahel. Look at this texture. Object is something I posted about both these objects in the same day, so you might have already seen, but I finished the S shawl and it's glorious fringed Anna Maltzness. I absolutely love it. It's huge, although I've knitted the small size, but I used thicker yarns. And I have made a little clip for you to show you how I steeked it, because it's so exciting. Dreieckstuch, Tammo. Das ist toll. Guck mal, jetzt kann man das so aufhalten.
Ah, cool. A little bit like a hangamatte.
It's big and warm. S shawl from the book Malal, A New Direction in Knitting, and you can still buy it straight off the author, which I think is so amazing and exciting that she's self-publishing, and I've learned so much by just actually seeing how much care she puts in. She really cares for her people. She's a good one, the sweater spotter on Instagram and Anna Maltz in this world. And the S shawl is basically a knit that you knit in a round. So you sort of create this cocoon, this, you know, it sort of looks like a trumpet, because all these stitches that are fringed now would have been knit stitches as well. So you start from the top and then you know, this is the top. And then you knit round, round, round and round, and you will see, I show it in my clip, and then you end up at the very tip of the shawl, and then you sort of cast off in a certain rhythm, which I thought was really clever, and then you steek it, cut, and then you can unravel all those knit stitches that were in between the sort of steek area. You sort of unravel either side of where you've cut and tie knots, and then you have this fringe, which means you never ever have to weave in any ends. No darning in of ends, because basically what you do, you just change colour, or when your yarn runs out, you change the skeins. You do that in the steek, so you have like a little bit longer frilly things. I had to cut them off because I had a couple of them, and then you tie your knots. But that's it. Amazing! Absolutely amazing. I'm lazy when it comes to darning in, so this is perfect. I'm gonna wear it just a minute. Like this. It's a blanket. I don't know, can I do this? I don't know if I can do this today. Oh God. Just to let you know, it's the 30th of July. Berlin is super hot and I'm wearing my shawl and I'm cutting off my head at the top.
I am so far.
Because I'm so extremely cast on happy, and I'm running the Magic 3 Make Along, which is a lot of small projects for a lot of small people, where we make 3 items, a top, a bottom and a toy. So bottoms being leg wear, anything, you know, we've had leg warmers, harem pants, bloomers, skirts. If you make a dress, you can make that count as your bottom and make a shawl to go with it, or you can make a cardigan or as a top and a dress. So, you know, the world is your oyster. Be creative, honestly, come up with your ideas. For babies, for example, if you don't want to make a toy, you could make them a bonnet, and bonnet, cardigan and bloomers. That could be something. Like, honestly, there is no nitpickers in our group. No 3 things in a flat lay nitpickers. We're all mummies. I'm sure some of us have picked some knits. God, sorry, that's depressing. But in any way, I super invite you to the Magic 3 Make Along. Come along. I have so much fun in that group. I finished an object in that group, and here it is. Back to front, the Anchors cardigan. The Anchors cardigan is designed by a Norwegian designer called Petite Knits. Her name is Mette, with first name, second name, just dropped off my brain shuffle. Sorry, I forgot. I absolutely love it. I mean, quite a few people will have knitted anchors in a group of makers now, because it is quite a, I think it's quite a trendy pattern. I think it's hit some sort of nerve, and I completely see why. This textured sort of ribbed stitch, it's not really, would it show better if I do this? Yeah, light-wise, I mean. It's got like a ribbing on the yoke and it's very clever. I really enjoyed making it, and I used Elke's Tulliva yarn. It's a Massam BFL, Blue Faced Leicester, British Massam yarn blend. So it's a UK produced yarn, and she plant dyes here in Berlin. She's a friend. And the reason I went to Jyväskylä, because I went along to sell her amazing yarn there, and I was knitting this there and finished just after I came back, I think, and it was, yeah, it was a pleasure to work with Elke. She's a gorgeous soul, and it was a pleasure to sell her yarn because people were very happy, and it's a super soft base she's using. She now has got a high twist sock yarn that is non-superwash, non-muslin, so that's super exciting. No plastic, 100%, so that's always really exciting when soft yarns are non-nylon. And yeah, it was a lot of fun selling. We wished we'd taken Gazina, my boss from Boilrind, along, because I think she would have also really liked, I think you would have all liked this amazing festival. But I just thought of Gesine now because I bought the buttons in our shop. They're these sort of Lanka style, old German traditional metal buttons, and I thought they go really well with this very pale walnut dyed yarn from Elke. Absolutely adored making this. And this set, I'm gonna be cheeky and double dip for the summer of basics. I make 3 basics for my daughter, but I'm also gonna make the set of 3 for the Magic 3 make along. Double dip, guys, if you wanna. Like, honestly, there is no such thing as exclusiveness. We all need to make stuff. And the skirt that I want to make in this set will be from this fabric, which my daughter completely and utterly fell in love with this print. So I went back to the shop as quickly as I could to get more of the same print, because I bought a very little bit of it for another project that I'm making as part of the Magic 3 make along. And she saw it and she was like, I want something from that. And the something, I think we've both agreed, will be the skirt for her bottoms. So top, bottoms, and then the toy will be a little mouse that I'm making with the leftover yarns from the Meadowsweet shawl, which was an FO in the last podcast I recorded. Alpacca, and I think they're alpaca wool blends from Edinburgh, and I'm so excited that I get to use that last bit of yarn making something from Isolde, the little mouse. I think it's just called Little Mouse pattern, and I bought it on Ravelry. It's like a single pattern of a little mouse with big ears and this I-cord tail. I think it's really cute and it will go well with this little set. And then I'll think of something else to make alongside this to make it for the summer of basics. Yep, that is that set. But the Magic 3 make along also has a set that I'm making for both my boys. Will also have sets, and I also have some sets that I'm just going to work away at as little presents, and I still have some things to finish from last year, so I'm really busy in the Magic 3 make along. One of the things is I'm going to continue with the pinglewin, because this pinglewin has got a summer top, but apart from that, nothing. So pinglewin needs a skirt. I'm going to use some of the fabric from that big pile, some of the cut-offs. I'm going to use as a little skirt for penguin, and the saddle top that I wore earlier, the swatch of the saddle top has become a little summer top, a second little summer top for the penguin, because this penguin is like a summer penguin. This penguin also needs a tuxedo. The pattern is Pinglewin by Anna Maltz, and as part of the Magic 3 make along I'm gonna knit the tuxedo, and I kept going backwards and forwards and I just can't find the right black yarn for the tuxedo, and I had this plan to frog a shawl that I found in a second hand. To be honest, why be so complicated? I think I'm going to just use the leftover yarn. This is also leftover from the Meadowsweet shawl to make the suit for Pinglewin. And then the summer top with the skirt is like, so that would be the bottoms, and the top will be the skirt, and the dress, like bottoms as in underwear in this case. And then the toy for the Pinglewin will be a little toy, well, a mini-sized quilt, which I'm making from patchwork that Lisa is teaching me how to make them. was one that she generously sent me so I could see how to work the patchwork and how to iron the back and do the seams and how much seam allowance to use. And this was one I hand stitched from the little tiny squares that she sent me, because she sent me some of her fabrics and some of her squares, and I podcasted about it last time because I'm so in love with all these colors singing together. So I'm gonna make another one with small and another one with bigger squares by hand, and then that's gonna get a quilt back. And I haven't got the fabric here. I keep saying, oh, I need to show you. The back will be cut from an old skirt of mine, which is like a thin denim, so not so thick that you can't go through it with a needle. It's actually quite thin, and it's been torn and I don't wear it and I don't like it. It's not the right shape for me, but I thought if I cut it up and use it as the backing for this, then I can stitch, like embroider my daughter and hence pinglewin's star sign, because this was a birthday present last year. I will embroider the star sign onto the backing, and then I'm going to put the wadding in between and have the two layers, and then I'm going to quilt it. And I'm very excited that I'm learning this skill of my amazing friend Lisa, and you're all welcome to learn the same skill of the same woman by going over to her blog. Erica Eccles is her name and her blog, and she has lots of great advice there. And you can also wait for my next zine, which I will publish after the holidays, so sometime in August, but not right now. And she is generously sort of joining the zine squad with her little recipe, like patchwork recipe. So you will have the information that I had that came with this for you if you buy the zine, or if you're a zine subscriber, then you can join and join some quilting fun if you're into the idea. And quilting fun, on that note, I just noticed I want to show you some amazing fabrics. So you've seen some of the fabrics that Lisa sent me, who is Erica Eccles, but I've had since a couple of quilting fabrics sent to me from friends near and far, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. This little paper, I'm going to rustle through the paper, has got pre-cut fabrics from Cynthia sent me these fabrics. There's some sort of vintage fabric and some, oh god, these flowers that she's all really generously pre-cut to the same size as these, because after I've made the mini quilt, I'm gonna embark on the mission to make a family quilt. And the family quilt now has started to have all these amazing contributions of fabrics, ends, and already cut squares. I can't believe it. That was just so kind of you, Cynthia. I'm so excited, and the colours and the flowers and the spots and everything's is perfect. So I've got these squares that will go in, but I've also had fabric sent that I would cut and maybe make other shapes with from Anya, who is Knitting Sharky, I love your name, Knitting Sharky, on Instagram, and she sent me some really cool vintage fabrics as well, and these ones with fairy tale and the clouds. I really like the clouds. And this is, I love this. This is like from my childhood days. I'm very much an 80s kid. Bina Maya. I think this must have been a sheet in the buttonholes. So this will also be added to the family quilt. I think there's a Superman fabric somewhere. Maybe in that pile. So that was Anya's contribution to my big family quilt. And then in this envelope, there were also the fabrics that Lieke, who is Lieke Knitting, sent me from Holland. And look at it. Perfect. More vintage. Oh. So I can make squares from these, but I could also try and make like log cabin shapes with them. Because I'm thinking this quilt will be crazy multicolored. I have a couple of amazing stars. I'm gonna sort of film a little close-up of all the shapes that already are, so that you see what I'm talking about. There's just, you know, it's just the sort of thoughtfulness of having these fabrics now. With this is a bit more Hessian, so I guess it won't work in the quilt, but I can make something else from that. You know, it's got, there's all these friends things. And also when I was in Finland, I met Leah, and so she didn't send me it because we saw each other in person. She gave me some of her fabrics, and she gave me this little cute little cup. God, I should put my water on top of that. Leah! That's so cool. Yeah, that goes under my mug from now on. Leah is a wild handmaid on Instagram, and she also has a podcast, so go and check it out. She has given me some fabrics, and I was like, really? You want to give me all those fabrics? Like, more dots? I must say, everybody really sort of, everything works together so well. It's amazing. And little dinosaurs and, you know, more floral designs. So all this will, you know, be added. Oh God, look at this. This is also really cute. Florals, and, you know, that's the thing with quilting. The smallest things, you can use little foxes. The smallest things, the biggest contributions, and this amazing. I think that's what Leah showed me, a picture of this, and I was like, that's the perfect cow. It's the perfect color combination. Thank you so much, everybody. This will be the best quilt ever. I just have to get going, really. So I thought, well, I'll start first before I go on and onwards and upwards and make a big family sized quilt. I've got to start, I've got to carry on making the 2 more squares for this, because that's a much more manageable size. Then I'll have a small quilt, and the idea is to put poppers on the end so I can close it up, and it's like, it functions as a sleeping bag for the little pinglewin. So it's Pinga's sleeping bag quilt plaything. And I guess lucky daughter has more toys there. And because I don't want to be unfair, I'm also making for the boys, but I have to be honest, I find it easier to make for her because she has got a, I don't know, a smaller size, similar taste, and the boys, what they require is it needs to be soft yarn. I think I have made the mistake of using yarns that weren't soft enough in the past for their stuff, so I'm trying to get it right this time. So this is sort of slowly going on over into acquisition. Because in Jyväskylä I actually bought this amazing yarn for my boy's flax sweater, which I'm knitting him as part of the Magic 3 make along. Flax sweater is a design by Tinker Knits, and I chose Opus by Wool Cut Yarns. Our amazing neighbours, we had so much fun chatting and, you know, hanging out, and that's how it is on the market. Then you spot each other's stuff, and I really couldn't go past the softness of this yarn. Check out Wool Cut Yarns. I really, 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 really recommend the quality. Oh, no, this mini skein has come undone. but it's so fluffy and light. It's baby alpaca. Oh, what's happened here? It says 70% Falkland Merino, 30% baby alpaca, 100% awesome. It's just like my son, he's awesome. Got one kid standing there looking at me like, what? Yes, you can have those. She wanted some treats. Cheeky. So look at this. 2 minis. Oh god, they've both come apart. 2 minis. And 2 of these, and the idea was to knit the flax sweater in this almost black, dark grey, almost black wool cut yarn, and then I think the top and the ribbing on the sleeves will be in this sort of contrasting red. I do wonder if I've got enough of this. I felt at the time I should have bought one more. Didn't do it, did I? Didn't buy that extra skein. So I'll have to see. I'm gonna set out to do that next month, so you will see me casting on end of August-ish, mid-August, because I have so many whips at the moment, but I'm so happy to have the yarn. So I'm gonna pick up what I've just dropped. This, I just dropped it. I love it. So nice and dark. And then I'm going to show you my other acquisitions, which is a bit of a yarn shrine. And I'm going to quickly remind you, I'm not sure if I can edit this and publish it, but the yarn shrine in July, you can win the pattern for amazing sort of children's waistcoat moss stitch by Kits and Cuddle. They're 2 friends from Berlin and they started this company, so honestly they really deserve all our support, because they're like new to the design area. They have got, I think, 3 designs already published. Correct me if I'm wrong, Saskia and Linda. And they make amazing, really cute baby things and sell them on Etsy as well. The good thing is you can also just purchase a pattern and knit it in whatever yarn you like. So I'm going to do that with the pattern that they have generously sponsored the Yarn Shrine giveaway with, which is called Greta's Vest. And my daughter has asked for soft yarn, so I'm really sorry. At the moment I've gone big brand and I've gone cotton. Yes, this is a fluffy cotton and we sell this in the shop, and I fell in love with this copper colour. It'll be a lovely moss stitch vest, and see how it, I think it defines the, and it's very fluffy and soft and it's cotton. It's Lang Yarn's Amira. I shouldn't really apologise, it's something that I bought that's child friendly. And I'm gonna see if I have more luck. She does wear the popcorn, which is a Mission Puff vest that I've made for her with this little bow tie, a lot. So I'm basically just making a cotton one for more like summer evenings. I'm taking that on holiday. Excited to knit that whilst we're on our break. And I'm excited that maybe someone else will knit it along. So actually I've worked out my daughter will get 2 sets if I make this as part of the Magic 3 make along. See my face? I'm like, what am I doing? More sets for the girl? Oh, I just spotted something that I forgot to show you. This is also from Leah. She made me a little bird of peace. So cute. Oh, miss you. It was so lovely to hang out, Leah. Knitting and going to the podcast lounge. Okay, I'm going to carry on with the acquisitions at this point. I bought enough, like a sweater quantity, of Helmi yarn, which is from the company Luomovilla. Luomovilla Rintalan Luomotila. Rintalantila, I think that's the name. Rintalantila. And I bought a sweater's quantity to make pattern by Jule, which is the Lanka by Jule. I want to knit this in winter and have like a proper brownish, sheepish coat to wear underneath raincoats, for example, and things. So I'm really happy I found this. And the lady who was selling it was wearing a very similar coat. I just really like the look of this yarn in a garter squish. So it'll be amazing. And so that was the natural one I showed you in the beginning of the giveaway skein, the Kainu Grey, and this is the Kainu Grey. I bought the same skein for myself. I bought it twice. Absolutely love it. And she had this on her needle, the woman who was running the store for Izokumun Lamastila, and the socks look deliciously. And she said you can't wear them through. So, sorry, didn't like the look on the sleeve. Too hot. So I was like, okay, you've sold it. By showing me your knit project, you've sold me the yarn. I'm very happy I got 2 skeins of that. And then our next door neighbour, one side was Alpacca wool cut, the other side was Alpacca from Finland. And so this is Tourulantila from an alpaca farm in Finland, and they were on the other side. So one side was wool cut yarns and the other side was Tourulantila. They were really nice. It's really nice to meet them. They had their kids there and some knitted goods. They were all saying ready knitted things, and this multicolored alpaca blend was just like, woo! I was gonna knit the coat for pinglewin in, and then I thought maybe it's too thick. Not coat, tuxedo, sorry. And this is actually slightly darker. So I think that is a better match. But this skein is like a treasure trove from Finland anyway at the moment. So that would have been my whole acquisition from Jyväskylä, and you're very welcome to stay around and watch the Jyväskylä Festival knit reportage coming up. But I had one question from a friend that I thought I'd answer. And I don't know how to answer it, but I did get a bit of a, it's like a compliment she's making me. Lovely Lisa asked me how I managed to stay so happy and be so cheerful all the time. And I don't know how I do. It's actually made me think that maybe I'm, like, I hope I don't seem too much of it. It's weird how a compliment can make you feel self-conscious. Why do I feel self-conscious after a compliment? I don't know. Anyway, I think it's because of the topic. We're talking about knitting, we're talking about my passion, so I'm always cheerful and happy when it comes to my passion and my work and my zine and the things that I talk about here. So I guess that's why it always comes across in that way, because that's how I feel about it. And feelings are a good thing to show and carry out on your face. I don't think my face can hide when I'm confused, nor can it hide when I'm happy or sad. You know, tears will roll in both cases. And however, when I was steeking my shawl in that clip, I started, or not in that clip, but before I started the shawl steek, I actually also pulled a card because I wanted to calm my nerves. I call that the knit oracle. that's just a question, like, will it go well? Am I alright? Is this going to be okay? And they came up with the sun, which is the great light, the way forward, brightness, and in general, the sort of a beam of positivity shining down on me whilst I was steeking, and it really helped me. And I think that card is almost like a question answer, an answer to the question by Lisa, that sometimes it's how, what light you choose to beam. And I think in my podcast, I choose to beam happy, cheerful light. I hope that answered your question, and I hope you all feel like you can ask me anything and everything, and I'm happy to answer questions if you want to put them in the comments below, or if you want to hop over to the Yarnchix Podcast Ravelry group. I have a question answer thread there where I've already asked and answered a couple of questions, so there's a little silly list of questions you might think to ask me that I've already answered, and then you'll have to think up a new question because they're all so answered. Go over, have a look. And then if you're in Berlin, at the end of the month, end of August, we're having Anna Maltz over for a Marlisle shebang. We're going to have a party, and she is, and this is the last Christmas bag. She is teaching at Volvent and she's teaching at Vollen, and funnily, before I knew which classes she's teaching, I started making my dog a little dog coat, because when it was raining I realized she's tiny, she needs warmth, so I'm designing with Marlisle a little dog sweater, and she's teaching a designing with Marlisle course, which is very exciting. And she's teaching a top-down sweater colour work course at Volvent on the Friday, 31st of August. So if you're in Berlin, if you're still into classes, our Marlisle class in Volvent on the Thursday is sold out, which is cool because Marlisle is this technique and it will be an introduction to it. So that was a bit of an add-on. I spoke about the tarot and I showed you all my yarn and all my projects and what's on the needles. There's a test knit that I've got in the bag that I'll show you next time, and there is some woodwork behind the camera. Ha! It's a good thing sitting in the kitchen. I've started cutting this down, but I'm using my kids' saw, so I'm taking forever. But that's okay. This is a project that has taken a year already, and my woodwork skills are, ever growing, and it's gonna be this row of hooks. So this I still have to finish. These are almost finished, so they will be on here like that. But they need sanding, so I'm taking them along and I'm going to sand them, and I'm going to cut this straight. So I'll have like a little platform at the top so my son can put his favourite Lego figure on there, or just something. It's like a tiny little mini shelf because it's going to be straight at the top. And I can't wait to finish this slow make, using up our old Christmas tree from 1.5 years ago. I just, got rid of all the branches and left the stump to dry for, I think, half a year, and then started this project. And I'm slow with it, but slow making is good making. It makes me happy and it fulfills me. And I think because I have quite a talented woodworker husband, I'm like extra slow with it and maybe self-conscious about it, but then I shouldn't. I should just enjoy it. And on that note, I hope you enjoy your makes and your challenges and going beyond and going slow and taking the time, and not making any fuss about anything because it's the holidays. Happy holidays, my lovelies. Now I'm sitting in a good spot. I was sitting so silly the whole time. Madai murui. Live and learn. Thank you for visiting me. Bye bye, see you soon.